Henshin Inspection presents Going Ultra!
This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mgmunoz.com. Welcome to Going Ultra. Visit mgmunoz.com/gu for notes and links, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment to help me grow. Ultraman Z, Episode 15, A Warrior's Duty, originally aired October 3rd, 2020. The writer is Kota Fukihara. The director is Kiyotaka Taguchi. Jumping right into the Ultra Bad. The contrivance that Riku just happened to get a signal about the Greeza anomaly feels like a mighty big stretch to me. What I thought was ultra cool was seeing Tri-King / 5 King again. That was pretty cool. Seeing all four combatants together. I guess it's Greeza, 5 King, Geed, and Z. It was pretty darn cool. It looked like a wrestling match. That's what it felt like anyway. The talking Belial Needle or sword or whatever it's going to be called made for a real fun moment with Haruki talking to it and interacting with it. And then Riku merging with Greeza to buy time, raised the stakes, and gave us time to, gave the show time to figure out a solution to the problem. And I thought it was very effective. It was very cool. I really enjoyed him handing over his medals to Haruki to say, hey, if I don't make it through, please, use these. So anyway, very, very heroic, very good stuff. Speaking of good, moving on to the Ultra Good. I liked Shinya and Cerebro getting brought back into the story. I know they were here the last episode, but it just doesn't feel like they're that involved. So having them more involved in this way, very good stuff. Although I do wonder what he was doing in his lab, just kind of sitting there, but whatever. Moving on, Hibikura transforming into a giant monster form is cool. Tri-King and 5 King. I really like that. I'd like to see it more often, and I'd like it if he could turn into different monsters, because I don't know where he grabbed those medals specifically. But if those are the only ones he has, I guess, can't be too picky, right? Let's see. The conclusion that an Ultra's duty is to protect everyone they can is a nice place to conclude the struggle that Haruki has been having. It feels like it has really clicked for me now. Yes, Ultras have to kill, but it is only really done to protect threatened lives. Haruki went to extremes to save the whole planet in this episode, as did Riku when he basically sacrificed himself by combining with the kaiju. And then going ultra deep here, what are the moral implications of Haruki attacking Cerebro to get the Belial medal? Is there any evil in that action? How can it be justified? Is it too dark of a move for such a hero? And kind of moving on, is it okay for a hero to swallow the darkness, as, Z and Haruki said they would do, by accessing the power of Belial, will it lead to indigestion, so to speak? And what does that mean? So, we had Haruki using only good powers before, right? And he accidentally murdered a mother or father and then almost killed the other one, or murdered the other one, in the Red Kings. So he was using all good power, and he did an evil action. So, if he's going to tap into the Belial power to do good, isn't that ultimately good? But, going back to my first question, the first, chunk of the question, attacking Cerebro and Shinya while they're, in evil idol mode, and I mean IDLE, not IDOL, is that okay? They're basically threatening the whole planet Earth, and I guess they don't care if they die. Maybe Cerebro will be fine and won't die. I don't know. But, they're not actively engaged in, killing and murdering and rampaging and stuff, so is it fine to go ahead and attack them? Well, he didn't really start the attack necessarily, I don't think. If I'm remembering correctly, Juggler brought him in there, and Haruki, maybe he started shooting right away. He might have said, like, hey, you, give me that medal. And then it turned into a firefight a little bit until Juggler got there with his sword. So, I don't know. I do kind of struggle with it. Had he gone to him and said, hey, like, I almost think it would have been more interesting if he'd said, hey, I need this medal or else this whole planet's going to die. And Cerebro kind of laughed it off and then attacked him or tried to make a deal with him or something. Like, that kind of would have been more interesting, and it would have been more morally clear that it was definitely 100% the right thing to do. But saving the lives of an entire planet from destruction, I'm okay with, doing that in, slightly immoral ways, because to me it's more important that the people live than that it be done 100%, the most wonderful, purest, most heroic, angelic way. So, like, there's my answer for that. And that's basically how it can be justified by the utilitarian thing. It's, either attack this guy for a little bit. Don't kill him, just attack him, rough him up a little bit if you have to. Get the metal from him and then save an entire, 9 billion people. Yeah, that's totally cool. Do it. And he saved a bunch of kaiju too. Think about that, because there's a bunch on Earth somehow. But yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of swallowing darkness, and I like the idea of the fact that this new Delta, this form is a ridiculous name, Delta Rising Claw, or Delta Claw Rise, I think is what it's called. But he has no claws. Anyway, this form using Belial is, this really strong form for Z. And I like the idea that he's redeeming that power, just like Geed, spoilers for Geed, redeems the power of Belial and, uses it for heroic purposes. I like all that, but just, I don't know, it feels more of a Kamen Rider-y thing to me, and less like an Ultra thing to me. And, does darkness get swallowed up by light, or is it suffused or dissipated by light? I don't know if that's worth the quibbling about, but anyway, I just have that kind of lingering question. Like, I'm overall okay with it. I feel pretty good about it, but it's just a little funky. It came off a little funny for me, even though it was a cool moment. In the moment, it was great, and then afterwards, I thought, well, what are the implications, and is this all okay or not? So anyway, I'd like to hear your input on that. What do you think about these questions? If you don't remember them, because I was kind of rambling as I was going through them, you can go ahead and go over to mjmunoz.com/GU, and you should be able to find the links for the latest episode. If you look for the feed, or if you just look at the top of the blog, it'll be one of the 10 most recent episodes out there. Unless you're looking at this way in the past, in which case you can go to you should be able to go to mjmunoz.com/GU and then find it in the list that I will get back to. I promise one day I'll get back to it. I swear, guys. I really will do it. Anyway, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. First, I'm going to encourage you to also go to the blog and type in Glowbug and read the 1.5 draft of Ava and the Glowbug, which is my Tokusatsu/Ultraman inspired children's bedtime story about a child overcoming the power of darkness and evil, scary shadows with light and courage. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it's good stuff, and I'm very excited to get an illustrator. If somebody who is a Tokusatsu fan who reads that story wants to volunteer to be the illustrator because you do some art, I'm thinking white, black, and just like one splash of color throughout to make it really high contrast and very cool. Anyway, contact me. You know how to do that. If you don't, it's all over the blog, all over mjmunoz.com. I'm also on MeWe, on Twitter, and you can comment on Odyssey or the other video place as well. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with peace and blessings. This is MJ signing out, and I'm going to remind you that you don't have to shout Henshin to be a hero.